Yo, what up, what up? Hey, look, usually I don't start this early, man, when the music's this loud, but hey, bump it. We moving on in the divisional round against a Carson Wentz-less Eagles team. Yes, they do still have a good defense, but it's been a long time since we've been up there playing them Eagles in a playoff game, buddy. Remember the last time we played them Jugglers back when Mike Vick was here? We got trounced out of there, and they end up going eventually on to the Super Bowl to eventually lose against the New England Patriots with Donovan McNabb and Mr. Terrell Owens, who had a his broken leg and still was able to do it. I guess that reminds you of what Alex Mack was able to do in the Super Bowl, although we lost that one. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Hey, I want to start out by saying this. I do apologize. Yes, I'm still here. I still be doing the podcast and whatnot, but things have been a little different this year, Falcons fam. You know, I got family and everything, and they're growing up more, and I've been having to be a little bit more attentive on their side of things. And plus, the Falcons games, we've had a lot more primetime games this year because of the success we had in the Super Bowl, so that kind of threw some things off. And then, you know, like I said, family, going out of town and such things, so I haven't been able to do a lot of videos and stuff like that. But man, I want to thank Mr. JR, man, who has been holding it down, and God bless him and his family, and I pray that they have a great new year, as well as you, Falcons fam, because like I said, we're moving on to the divisional round. And let's talk about this game. I mean, you know, great game by this defense. And I'm sorry, Falcons fans and anybody else out there, experts alike, if you don't know by now the identity of this team, then I don't know what else to say. Because we are no longer that high-powered offense that we once were. Now, maybe that could pop up at some point, but I don't see it happening because we are a defensive team. And you heard Matt Ryan admit as such. He said that it felt good to finally have a defense. Now, he didn't throw the word finally in there because he'd be probably feeling disrespectful to his team, but he did feel good about having a defense, and that tells you all you need to know. And this defense showed up against the #1 scoring offense in the LA Rams. The #1 offense coming in with Todd Gurley, who everyone is saying should be the MVP, one of our Georgia Bulldog boys, and shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs, who will hopefully be representing tomorrow night. I'm hearing there is a wintry mix coming in. Hopefully that doesn't affect things too much, but we shall see, because Georgia is so crazy with weather here. Many of you know it as well as I. But hey, yes, Todd Gurley did get over 100 yards, and I'm telling you right now, we to stop those two big explosive plays he had gotten, especially that first explosive play when we had him hemmed up in the backfield and he got away for 26 yards. And of course, Ricardo Allen, for the second time, I've seen him get a penalty hitting somebody late like he did in the Bucs game. And they tacked 15 yards on, which eventually led them to a score, which leads me to my other guy who seems to have been out of position. Mr. Brian Poole. He had a pretty good game, man. He was tagging folks. But he got out of position on the one play. Robert Woods, was trying to do a little pick on him, but realized he didn't need to do it, and Cooper Kupp ended up getting a touchdown because Brian Poole was not able to catch up with him. They scored 10 points before the half, which is something you do not want to happen, but it did happen. Luckily for us, because of the special teams, and shout out to Mr. 27, DeMonte Casey. Boy, he was all over the place, wreaking havoc on special teams, involved in both of those key fumbles by the Pro Bowler, Mr. Farrell Cooper. I appreciate you, Mr. Farrell Cooper. You helped us get up about quick 10 points, and we was able to add on 3 more to go 13-10 before going into the half. But it's all good because we got the ball back in the second half. And guys, let me tell you something. What I do like about Steve Sarkisian, and I know we've been all up and down on him this season, he commits to that run. Kind of makes you wonder if we'd have done that in the Super Bowl, we could have won that thing. But you know, that's neither here or there. but 39 rush attempts. Now, of course, Matt Ryan doesn't have to really sling the ball around when you got 39 rush attempts. And although it was tough sledding in that first half against a team that usually gives up things in the run game, but they came to play. It's the playoffs. You expected them to come and do that. But, boy, when we got to that second half, boy, we started loosening things up. And it started with Devontae Freeman popping off a 22-yard run. And everything just went uphill from there. And it was wonderful because we needed to be able to run that ball. And I'm going to tell you right now, once again, the trend is if you're getting Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu involved, you increase your chances of winning. As well as, because the stat came out with Charlie Weiss, when he was on Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, he mentioned that if the Falcons get to 20 points, he saw us winning the game. And we had 10 games prior to coming into the playoffs, now making it 11 because we hit 26 on the Rams, the opportunistic defensive Rams, who was giving us some HE double hockey sticks problems at first. Like I said, it's the playoffs. It is all good. But even though we gave up over 100 yards to Todd Gurley and over 100 yards to Mr. Robert Woods, y'all, guess what they didn't do? They didn't score. And Todd Gurley came into that game with 13 touchdowns. And all you kept hearing was what they did against Seattle, what Todd Gurley did against Seattle with the 4 touchdowns and springing off them long runs. Well, first of all, let me tell you something. That was great for him because he's one of our Georgia boys, but they did that stuff and put up 42 on a depleted defense, whom was not depleted the first time they played them. And as I recall, they scored about the same amount of points against them as they did us. And boy, shouts out to 37 plus minutes in the time of possession. Let me tell y'all something. Yesterday, we finally saw the vision of what Dan Quinn wanted to do, especially after that Super Bowl loss and what he wanted to implement. Special teams play, hold the ball on offense, keep your defense fresh so they can go out there and do their thing. And we saw it all yesterday, and Mr. Money, Matt Bryant. Woo! 9 field goals. Boy, that's how we doing it. 5 in the last regular season game against the Carolina Panthers, who unfortunately saw their season come to an end against the New Orleans Saints. But we're going to keep it moving. And then you add 4 more on in the playoffs, including another 50-plus yarder. I think he had about 2 in that game, did he? If he did, please comment and let me know if I'm correct on that, Falcons fam, because I know y'all just into these games as I am. But nonetheless, dude has been on fire, and we're going to probably need that down the stretch. Now, I don't know what it's going to be like up there in Philadelphia, how the wind is going to be blowing and everything, if there's going to be wind. Right now, I heard early prediction is, based on early weather from NFL Network after the game, is that it was going to be 42 and some possible rain showers or something like that. But it's still early, like they said, and we'll see what it's going to be Saturday at 4:30 because we're moving on. And hopefully we can be moving on into the NFC Championship round. That is to be continued. But what I didn't like yesterday is giving up those 3rd down and longs. Now, although one of them, and I'm sure y'all saw it, that 3rd down and 15, I know Vic Beasley was held. And you can see it, but of course the refs didn't call it. And that's not unusual because we've been having some issues with them not calling certain things when we've been getting held, knowing good and well we've gotten to the quarterback. But it is what it is. We fought through all of that in the regular season, and looks like we're going to fight through that a little bit in the playoffs. But Super Bowl hangover, y'all need to stop that. It's time to end that talk right now, because clearly this team is tough, and they were ready to go in that game and ready to go as the underdogs. They felt disrespected. You heard Deion Jones, boy, he was pumped coming into that game. And I'm going to tell you, I don't remember quite why Grady Jarrett split his middle finger up. But that goes to show you the mentality they went in with yesterday. They was ready to get down to business, and they did exactly that. And y'all, shouts out to Matt Ryan. Ooh, honestly looking like a playoff caliber quarterback. And it's all thanks to the calm morale and feistiness fight of Dan Quinn's character. Always believed and always said, and you hear either player say it, you take on the character of your coach. And Dan Quinn is a great coach to take on a character nature of. And even he was feisty and fiery. If you saw some of the and read some of the interviews and stuff he said, man, he was ready to go. And he said nobody would want to play them right now because they've had a great couple of weeks of practice, and it showed because of the evidence of winning that last regular season game, holding the Panthers to 10 points. Who put up 26, by the way, on that Saints defense, and almost came back because Sean Payton almost once again blew that game with a crazy 4th and 2 call that got intercepted. Now, Carolina, unfortunately, couldn't do much with it, and, of course, they get snubbed with a bogus intentional grounding call, but let's keep it moving. Oh, they're moving on to the Minnesota Vikings, and we'll see how that goes. And it could be possible that there is a Saints, and Falcons NFC Championship. Who knows? But anyway, let's get back to the game, man. Very exciting game. Defensively, we did our thing, and offensively, the guys did what they needed to do. Matt Ryan, his Julio Jones, almost slips and still puts beautiful touch on this pass to Julio. And before that, a nice wide receiver screen to Mohamed Sanu to take it for 52 yards to set that pass up. And I'm telling you right now, these guys are working pretty well together between him and Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. The potential is beautiful. Now, we didn't convert on third downs like we would have liked to, and what has usually been our bread and butter, because we were number one on third down conversions as an offense going into that game. But hey, we did enough on some third downs to be able to make an impact and put the game away. And I'm going to tell you right now, you could have made it a questionable non-call on Deion Jones on that last play on Sammy Watkins. But hey, they didn't call it, and we was able to move on. Either way, if you would have scored, you still wouldn't have won the game, so it's a done deal. Yes, you would have got 20 points, try the onside kick, but hey, you going home. You was already at home, Rams. So, hey, man, shout out to y'all, though. You had a great season. Jared Goff looked real good, and now he can take all of that, him and Sean McVay, coach, and move on into next year and take those lessons and keep it moving. And you can't tell me experience was not a factor, because it was. Many tried to downplay that, but the Falcons clearly showed that they were the more calm, cool, and collected team with experience. And guys, that was just exciting to watch. And I'm just going to tell you, though, I was nervous. I'm talking about using the bathroom nervous. That's how nervous I was for this game to come on. And I get to keep my money for at least one more week because I did make that bet that the Falcons would go to the Super Bowl and win. And like I said, it had to be those swamp things I had at Papa Do's, because otherwise I don't think I would have made some crazy bet like that. But right now, the Falcons are fighting for me, and they're holding my money in my pocket for at least one more week. But we shall see how that even goes. But I'm just excited, man. We got the Georgia Bulldogs basically playing in their own backyard. And hopefully we can come away with that national championship and take it away from the Alabama Crimson Tide. who just don't seem to lose all the time when they are in championship games and environments. But I believe Kirby Smart is going to have those boys ready to go. But other than that, man, what else can we talk about in this game? Takk McKinley shows up again. Boy, that Takk McKinley is something special, isn't he? And I tell you, last night he was tweeting about he needed some new dance moves, celebrations after he gets sacks, and he was looking for recommendations. Well, unfortunately, Takk, I can't dance, so I can't offer you much suggestions in that area, but maybe somebody up in the ATL, because you're definitely asking the right city with what all we come with. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that goes if he has any new celebrations after he get him some sacks against Mr. Nick Foles up there in Philadelphia on Saturday, starting off at 4:30 kickoff Eastern time. What else can we talk about in this game, man? I'm trying to think of some other things. I'm gonna say this much: Jared Goff, I believe he can be good, man. Dude can clearly make all the throws, and he was making some big-time throws yesterday. Now, you can tell he was nervous. He did have the nervous bug. He kind of looked like Matt Ryan a little bit, and how Matt Ryan looked in his first playoff games and things of that nature. But dude made some nice throws when he needed to make some. But it just wasn't enough. And defensively, Aaron Donald, boy, he was a one-man wrecking crew, man. I mean, everywhere he lined up, it did not matter if he lined up on Schweitzer. It didn't matter if he lined up on Garland. It didn't matter if he lined up on Ryan Schrader. I mean, he was just wreaking havoc by himself against our offensive line. I thought when they lost Brockers, who went down after getting a sack on Matt Ryan, which was a key sack for them, that, they wouldn't have much push going on. But then some new guy gets in there and he ends up getting a sack on us and pushing the offensive line to get back there to Matt Ryan. But, man, it's so exciting right now to be moving on to the next round and where we were not technically supposed to be at right now, because all the struggles were supposed to keep us out of here. But we're in it, and you're going to have to deal with us. As JD was saying, I'm going to end it with this: stand with us, but do not stand in our way. And that's all I got to say. I'm Toby D, pound for pound. Peace. I'm out. Rise up.